your perspective and from your knowledge base, if you could give someone 3 actionable steps, including shifting of the perspective, right? If you could offer 3 bits of information to help someone get out of a financial hole right now and start ascending to some higher paths of wealth, what would your advice be? Generally, obviously each person's circumstances are different, but generally speaking, what would your 3 bits of knowledge be? Reality translate me that.
Okay. Oh, okay, fine. I will. Yeah. Okay. Firstly, as reality transplaining episodes progress, I'm assuming that people will want to be asking specific questions of us, which are usually more useful because we can narrow down on specifics that on the basis of what is most personal is most universal. We can talk about something that seems very specific, but is actually very generally applicable. Since we don't have that yet, because this is all so new, here are the general principles. Transurfing at its core implies that the individual is the source of power. The individual makes decisions that will lead into action, that will lead into moving between realities to another reality, to another time stream, right? Everything hinges on decisions. What is the first decision a person needs to make in terms of getting themselves out of a financial hole? One of them would be stop looking at it as a financial hole. Because if you look at it as a financial hole, all you're going to do is reinforce it's a financial hole, it's a financial hole. While that might be true objectively, we're not talking about the path out of objective horribleness, for want of a better term, is subjective empowerment. The solution for this is the same solution as it is for something like losing weight. Mm-hmm. Stop looking at the external world, because the external world only mirrors the internal. Paradoxically, ignore everything, even if it's for 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes is not going to make a difference to your situation in terms of if you continue to create the same reality over and over again, or to experience
and worry and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing shifts until energy shifts. Energy does not shift until feeling shifts. Feelings don't shift until thoughts don't shift. Affirmations won't cut it. They just don't. Because affirmations are usually said or stated in such desperate energetic terms that they don't have any power behind them. They don't have any power behind them. Take advantage. This is where you and I had a discussion, and we might go into this in depth later in some future transplaining episode. But I never do affirmations. I do interrogations. Here is a single very powerful technique. First, I'll explain why it works, and then I'll explain the technique. Have you ever heard of something called cognitive dissonance?
Yes.
What is your understanding of cognitive dissonance?
It's justifying and explaining to yourself why you have some sort of thought or problem of some kind, and why it's necessary for you to have it. Like it's
no, that's actually rationalization, which actually happens after cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance happens when you have contradictory thoughts going on in your head, right? That's an extremely uncomfortable state for most minds to be in, right? You can't be both rich and poor at the same time. You can't be both healthy and sick at the same time, right?
Got it.
Right.
So give me an example.
Okay, so your mind is going to be wanting to reconcile these two opposites. Okay, let's go with the example of money, right? You're in a terrible financial situation. You're constantly telling yourself, I'm in a terrible financial situation. You're looking at your bank account and you said, this is crap, I'm in debt, I'm in debt, I'm in debt. So what will the affirmation crowd do? They will say, I'm not in debt, I'm not in debt, which is crap. Or if they know a little bit more about affirmations, they'll say, I'm wealthy, I'm rich. If they know even more about affirmations, they'll do this. I am wealth. I am richness. I am abundance. Okay. The thing is, to go from I am in a hugely horrible, deep financial hole to I am abundance is a pretty big step.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't bite off more than you can chew at once. And it doesn't work anyway. So take advantage of a cognitive dissonance by using interrogation rather than affirmation. Interrogation works like this. Firstly, I completely ignore the mirror, because the mirror is only going to reflect back at me. And most people are so accustomed to being reactive that all they'll do is they'll look at the mirror, react to the mirror then reflects them, they react, reflect, react, and you're in this endless spiral. Now, the spiral can be positive or negative, but for many people, they're in trouble because they're in the negative spiral. Crappy reality makes me sad. I look sad. Mirror shows me my sadness. I have more reasons to be sad, more reasons to be miserable. I'm poor. The mirror shows me my poverty because the mirror is very compliant that way. I look at the mirror, the poverty in my mirror. It makes me feel even poorer. Cycle, reaction, etc. Okay, you've got to snap out of that. How do you do that? Okay, take advantage of cognitive dissonance. Instead of trying to convince yourself that you are abundant, you do this. You interrogate. You say, why am I so abundant? Why am I so rich? Why do I have so much access to so much money for my personal use? Why am I so wealthy? Why do I have such an abundant lifestyle? You keep generating these questions. The great thing about this is that you don't have to believe the questions. You don't have to believe in the reality behind the questions or the presumptions. You just ask the questions continually. You make no attempt to believe it. You make no attempt to convince yourself of anything. You just ask the questions continuously. First major step, do that for 15 minutes a day, preferably before you go to sleep. Like I'm saying, just go through the motions. Nobody's asking you to believe it. Nobody's asking you to buy it. It's just the questions.
And are you answering them yourself?
This is the thing. Your mind, your inner being will not be able to take the cognitive dissonance. It will say, deep down inside, it will say to itself, on the one hand, I'm in a really crappy financial position. On the other hand, I'm asking myself these questions. We're deeply hardwired to ask questions and to seek answers. if we keep asking ourselves these questions,
we'll start to want to seek the answers.
We don't even have to try consciously. We don't have to make an effort. The only thing we have to do is go through the motions. Our inner being will then say, well, why am I so wealthy? Yeah. Oh, because I'm very good at finding answers to solutions to financial problems. Why am I so good at finding solutions to financial problems? Oh, because you have access to knowledge about money and how it works. Why do I have such good access to good information about money? Oh, because I know people who have good access to questions about money. Why do you know these people? Oh, because I get around a lot. Why do you get around a lot? Because I'm outgoing. Why are you outgoing? Because I enjoy people's company and I enjoy exchanging information.